Let's say China.
China.
China. China.
There are next door neighbors, and you can actually see Russia from land here in Alaska.
You go over to China.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Trump's tweeting out insults to Angela Merkel. What's he doing?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host.
Hello. It is me, James Andrews, and you are listening to So This Happened. Pretty much the only news you'll need today. It's Wednesday, the 14th of June, 2017, and today was a fucked up day, and I think that pretty much expresses everybody's feelings about what happened today in Alexandria, Virginia, when a man opened fire on congressmen practicing baseball. And it seriously sounds like a war zone on the video that's been released of the shooting. You can hear it in the background now while we talk about this. Really horrifying stuff. Now, Congressman Steve Scalise, who is the House Majority Whip, was injured along with 5 other people. The Majority Whip was shot in the hip and he was transported to hospital where he is said to be okay and in good spirits. A number of Capitol Hill police officers were also shot, and also an aide. It was a horrifying scene. These were, congressmen just hanging out, playing baseball, getting ready for the congressional baseball game tomorrow, and someone just came and opened fire on them. I can't imagine the absolute horror that must have been there. Now, there are some information starting to come in now about the man who did this, and a few things. He apparently worked for Bernie Sanders, or volunteered rather for Bernie Sanders during the election campaign. The man's name is James Hodgkinson. He's 66 years old, from Belleville, Illinois. On his Facebook and his Twitter accounts, which are open to the public, he was very anti-Trump, very anti-GOP, and this really does seem to be the accumulation, and an awful accumulation of just really craziness, isn't it? I mean, it's just craziness. And thankfully, none of these politicians have started to point the finger of blame at people yet. The same cannot necessarily be said for the conservative media, who have already started pointing fingers at Kathy Griffin, saying, well, what do you expect when you hold up a severed head of the president? People are going to do this kind of thing. And I just don't think that's the case, to be honest. There's always been, nastiness on either side of the aisle. That's politics. It's a big game, isn't it? Opening fire and the amount of shots that you heard in the background there, I mean, it literally sounds like a war zone. That is just a very unstable person who had a gun and decided to open fire because he was fucking insane, okay? It's important to remember that. He may have had a political reason for doing it, but just like the terrorists that blow themselves up, he's fucking insane. And that's important to remember. He's not a Democrat. He's not a member of the Democratic Party. He doesn't speak for Democrats. He doesn't speak for Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton, anyone. He's just fucking insane. And we'll keep repeating that just so it does actually get through. He's just fucking insane, okay? Now, I could go on a very long and, repetitive rant about how, guns do kill people. I know people love to say it's not guns that kill people, it's bad people that kill people. Good people. What is it? Bad people that kill good people. Yes, it's bad people that kill good people. Well, no, the gun helps, to be honest. It really does. And we're not going to get into that discussion because people are immovable. And I suspect what will happen after this is we're going to see a lot more people buying guns and wearing guns on their waists, like this is the Wild West. That always seems to happen after these things. But the reality is, and we've talked about this many times, and you can look up the statistics. Facts don't lie. They don't. That's why they're called facts. Guns don't ever really stop these kinds of violent outbreaks. If one of those congressmen had had a gun, would he have pulled it out and used it? No, he wouldn't have. Statistically, he would not have pulled it out and used it. Because when you're in that situation, it's so terrifying. Fight or flight comes into play, and usually in those situations, unless you are, a unique type of person, flight wins. Always. Self-preservation always wins over heroism. I know that's really selfish of me to say that, but think about it. Unfortunately, it is true. So the whole, if everyone had had guns, they would have put that guy down. No, if everyone had guns and they tried to put that guy down, they wouldn't have hit, and a lot more people would have been killed. And I do want to give a quick shout out to the Capitol Police who were there, who ended up putting down this fellow and killing him. Thank God they were there. They were actually there. They were part of Scalisi's security force, and they were the ones that took care of the man firing. So, thank God they were there, and they did a wonderful job. So they should be very highly praised for what they did. And then the DC police came in, and everyone, I think, did a really great job from what I'm hearing in a very awkward situation. But, well, we're not even going to talk about it because we could just go on and on and on about it. He was just fucking insane. And fucking insane people should not be allowed to buy fucking guns. Yeah, I know. Well, they can now because the executive order that Donald Trump signed recently now says that fucking insane people, mentally ill people, can now buy a gun. So that's awesome. And I think that's where, if anything comes out of this, that's what we need to look at. We need to open this debate on guns again. How did he get them? Where did he buy them? Why was he able to buy them? Because he was fucking insane. And now I just want to play some clips of what people had to say about the shootings, some senators, congressmen, and we'll start out with Donald Trump, who in a rare moment of... Yeah, I'm not even going to be mean about it. He did a nice little speech. Here he is.
Melania and I are grateful for their heroism and praying for the swift recovery of all victims.
Vice President Mike Pence tweeted, "Karen and I are praying for Steve Scalise, the Capitol Police, and all hurt for a speedy recovery."
We are united. We are united in our shock. We are united in our anguish. An attack on one of us is an attack on all of us.
Representative Gabby Gifford said, "My heart is with my former colleagues, their families and staff, and the U.S. Capitol Police public servants and heroes today and every day." Republican Steve Pierce said, "I was present at this morning's GOP baseball practice, but I'm all right. Prayers for Congressman Scalise and aides." Here's
Congressman Scalise is a friend, and a very good friend. He's a patriot, and he's a fighter. He will recover from this assault. And Steve, I want you to know that you have the prayers not only of the entire city behind you, but of an entire nation and, frankly, the entire world.
Marco Rubio said, "My prayers to Steve Scalise's staff and the Capitol Police."
I have just been informed that the alleged shooter at the Republican baseball practice this morning is someone who apparently volunteered on my presidential campaign. I am sickened by this despicable act, and let me be as clear as I can be. Violence of any kind is unacceptable in our society, and I condemn this action in the strongest possible terms.
Republican Clay Higgins said, "Praying for my friends and others involved in this morning's shootings. Keep their families in your prayers." Chuck Schumer said, "Saddened by the news of the shooting in Virginia this morning. Thoughts and prayers for Representative Steve Scalise and others injured, and hope for a speedy recovery."
We're not one caucus or the other in this House today, but we speak for each other in saying that we send our thoughts and prayers to our colleague, Steve Scalise.
Ted Cruz said, praying for our friends, colleagues and all hurt or impacted by today's terrible shooting. Jason Shavitz, praying for my colleagues this morning. God bless. Senator Al Franken, horrified by shooting in Alexandria. My thoughts are with Steve Scalise, my colleagues, staff members and police who were attacked this morning. Bill Cassidy, as we wait for facts to be learned, our prayers are with those injured. Louisiana especially lifts up in prayer Steve Scalise and his family. Mike Huckabee, Capitol Police deserve gratitude for heroism. Stop shooter of GOP congressman in Virginia. Thank God for the sacrifice of law enforcement. Elizabeth Warren, my thoughts are with Steve Scalise, all those injured, and the brave Capitol Police who protect us every day. And some really heartfelt comments there from the men and women in government, and I think everybody feels the impact of this. It's an awful thing, and it's something that's very, it's on every news station. That's all that's being talked about today. So it is very much in your mind. I really do hope that this can lead to some sort of discussion on sensible gun control, where fucking insane people cannot get hold of a gun and do this to people. And another example, and this is horribly depressing, and I apologize, but today in San Francisco, a postal worker killed 3 people and then turned the gun upon himself and shot himself. These are stories that we hear every single day, and we get so numb to them. It's just sort of, oh yeah, there was another shooting, someone else killed someone, and then they killed themselves, and we really are just, we're numb to it. We hear it every single day, all the time, and it's not something we should be numb to. Every time we hear that somebody was shot dead by a gun, we should be absolutely outraged, and we should be saying, why the fuck does this happen? Why does this keep happening? And I don't want to, I do want to. I'm going to compare my country of Britain, my home country of Britain, to my adopted country of America. You know how many people get shot in England every year? It's a very, very small number. Yeah. Because we don't have guns. It's not something that's in the psyche. Okay, and here, it's every day. Every day, people are getting shot. It's unnecessary. It really is. I see people walk around here, and they have, guns literally just strapped to them like they're in the fucking Wild West, walking in the city. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so you're just walking down the street with a gun on your side. What is that? Because you have a tiny dick? I mean, that's the only thing I can think of, because I've been alive 40 years. And in my 40 years, I've been very lucky, apparently, that I have never been anywhere where I felt the need to have a gun strapped to my waist to feel safe. And I've been to some pretty shitty areas of the world, and I've never felt the need like, oh God, if I had a gun right now, I would feel so much better and so much safer. I wouldn't. And maybe it's just not in my mindset to feel that way, but it's something has to change, people, because I'm getting really fucking sick of reading about this every single day. I mean, is nobody else getting sick of this? Is it just me? Am I just screaming into the void? Are these politicians not looking at this going, my God, today could have been so much worse. We could have lost the lives of so many congressmen. Does the penny not drop? Do they not say, why is that? Because, guns don't kill people. No, guns don't kill people. Yeah, they fucking do. Luckily they didn't kill anyone today in Virginia, but they did in San Francisco. 3 people, 4 people if you include the gunman that killed himself. So guns do kill people, And then I hear the argument, yes. Oh, but cars can kill people too. They're a very dangerous weapon. Oh, shut the fuck up. Yes, cars can kill people, but guess what? That's not what they are designed to do. A pistol. What is the purpose of a pistol? It's self-defense, James. No, it's not fucking self-defense. It's to kill somebody. That's it. That's the only purpose a gun has. That's it. To kill people. It serves no other purpose, does it? No. So, well, that's it. That's the end of the show. I'm getting annoyed by it all now. So, I just want to send my thoughts out to Steve Scalise and the other people who were injured today, and I hope they have a very speedy recovery, both physically and emotionally, because this is going to be tough for them. It really is. And if anybody who has a say in Washington is listening, think about this for a second. Why did this happen? There's one reason this happened. Because the man had a gun. That's it. That's the only reason this happened. You can say, oh, it was political because he didn't like the Republicans, blah, blah, blah. No. One reason. This happened because he had a gun and he was, altogether now, fucking insane. Good night. I'll chat with you tomorrow. Have a great evening. Goodbye.
I did not have sexual